Hey, this is Andrew bringing you a Keyforge set review. This will actually be the first set review that I've done for Worlds Collide, and I have Mark with me. Hey, Mark.
Hey Andrew, how's it going?
Great. I'm very excited to do this, to look at these cards, and then for the official release coming up on November 8th. And I know you have kind of a last hurrah for non-Worlds Collide stuff coming up
Yep,
very
yep.
soon.
Gonna be going to the Prime Championships tomorrow morning, starting at 11. Yeah, it's probably one of the last major tournaments that will not be involving Worlds Collide. So it's gonna be only Age of Ascension and all of the Archons. So looking forward to
Sweet.
that, and then be able to look forward to this Worlds Collide release coming up.
Sweet. One of my local stores has a store champs scheduled for the 9th, so the day after release, and I think we talked them into doing a two deck sealed survival. So we'll be
Oh,
doing
nice.
all worlds collide at that. Uh, cool. So I have up the first card that we'll actually start looking into, but before we do that, I wanted to go over a few just broad, big picture questions. We're doing Star Alliance first, and that is 100% new cards because they're a new house.
Yep.
So, yeah, so I haven't actually played hardly any. Have I played any games with Star Alliance yet? I don't know if I've played any games with Star Alliance yet. I've played against them a couple times. But when you open up, or when you see, Star Alliance in a deck, what will you be hoping to get in terms of capabilities?
All the cards. No, obviously
Yeah,
they'd
they're all
be
good.
amazing if you could have a whole deck of Star Alliance. But I think that I'm really looking forward to like the synergy they have with other houses. Um, Lots of cards that can interact with your hand, your creatures in your battle line. And what I'm really looking forward to is just that making a huge Voltron creature with mega artifacts or the mega upgrades, I should say,
Yeah,
and just make a giant creature with Light of the Archons. That I'm looking forward to being able to do that if I get it. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah, for me, I was looking. They have a lot of stuff that rewards you for having a variety of houses on the board.
mm-hmm.
They have, they really like upgrades. Uh, they have this fun feature of having some robot creatures that can be used as upgrades. Even
Mm-hmm.
uh, they love house cheating more than any house that we've had so far.
Oh my goodness, yeah, they have so much synergy with other houses.
Yeah.
And in fact, about so there's 61 cards in the whole set of
Uh
Star
huh.
Alliance, and 26 of them reference upgrades. So they're very
Wow.
upgrade centered. Very upgrade centered.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. They love upgrades. Yeah. And I didn't catch the exact number, but the number of them that reference doing something with, uh, with a creature that's not in your active house is pretty high too. Um, they have they have some ward, they have some healing. They kind of have. It seemed to me like other than exalt or enrage, they kind of have a smattering of a lot of the various mechanics that we've seen. They do a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
Mm-hmm.
but they tend to do them better if they're doing them with friends. Um, they also have, uh, for not being logos, a surprising amount of like look at the top few cards of your deck and put them back in any order, draw cards, archive cards. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they could be up there with logos in terms of enabling your other houses to do awesome stuff.
Right. Well, one of the ways I've been thinking of them is as a bit of like an opposite, a, like a bit of an opposite to Mars, where
Hmm.
Mars is completely um, involved with itself. Like they want
Hmm.
to develop their board, but this one with Star Alliance, it really rewards you for developing the board with other houses, and then using this house to complement it.
Totally. Cool. All right. So what other house would you most like to see on the deck list alongside Star Alliance?
Well, out of my four favorite houses, Dis, Logos, Shadows, and Untamed, would love to see Dis with them, and
Okay.
I'd love to see Dis with them because of the upgrades, because of the house cheating,
Hmm.
being able to um, draw and um, move through your deck fast to get to all your disruption with this and your control is really it could be really good.
Uh huh.
Um, I'm torn between Shadows and Saurian actually because Saurian um, with Star Alliance actually initially looks like a really good combination of houses because of the warding from
Uh huh.
Saurian and Star Alliance and being able to make those creatures stick onto the board for a long time. The exalting from Saurian, it could be really good. So
Uh huh.
uh, the upgrades from both houses work really well together,
Hmm.
and um, yeah, yeah. So I think Saurian and Dis have really
Uh huh.
uh, good, I think those would be my favorite.
Cool. Yeah, I put Sarian, and I feel like it's a little bit of a cop out answer just because like I'm so excited to get a deck that has both of them because they're both new.
That's for sure.
So I think that's part of it. But also Sarian, it is really strong, and I think you touched on like these makes a lot of sense too. But I think Sarian is a pretty strong house, and so having something that accelerates it in this way is really good. And
Hmm.
the same is true of Dees. Yeah, it's just a really exciting thing to be able to like have strong creatures on the board or strong effects or whatever, and like get to use them on 2/3 of your turns instead of just 1/3.
Right,
Uh,
right.
cool. Okay. What combo are you most excited to see?
I really like um, the card, the creature, Chief Engineer, because of how upgrade centered Star Alliance is. Chief Engineer Walls really interacts with the upgrades and
Yeah.
the robots in Star Alliance really well. Um, Another big thing about him, he's Play Fight Reap. You may return an upgrade or robot card from your discard pile to your hand. So if any go into your discard pile, you can return them to him, or with him, I should say.
Uh huh.
He's elusive, 2 power, so he might be able to stick around for a bit if he's ignored. But um, just about every single upgrade besides the robot ones, the ones that can be played as a creature, have an amber pip on them. So being
Hmm.
able to return those to your hand and be able to play them out on the same turn could be extremely useful in moving the game forward.
Totally. Yeah. I put and I'll have to see. Maybe I'll have to eat my words in when we actually get playtesting in. But I'm excited to see how it would work to have Quixelstone with Science Officer Shinkan. Um, and I'm probably saying his name wrong, but so Quixelstone basically prevents there from being a lot of creatures on the board, and Shinkan uh, steals every time someone chooses a house that's not already on the board.
Oh my goodness.
And I've already seen a Quixelstone setup where it just involves a lot of upgrades on a single creature, and so I'm imagining how cool it would be to have like
Hmm.
Shinkan with upgrades that kind of keep him safe and make him able to do a lot of stuff with a Reap or whatever, and Quixelstone. So your opponent you don't have a reason to drop other houses on the board, and your opponent just doesn't really have a way to drop other houses on the board. I think there's a lot of potential there.
It's definitely an interesting card. We'll talk more about it when we get to it.
Yeah.
But I like
Yeah.
that combo. That's really thinking into the card. Mine is kind of shallow.
Oh. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Sometimes sometimes you find interesting combos like that, and you think, oh, that'd be so cool. You theory craft, and then when you actually get around to it, it's like, oh, this is hot garbage. So you never
Yeah.
know. Cool. So I'll go first for this one. My Maverick that I think I would most like to get in Star Alliance is Ring of Invisibility, just because it plays in so well with the other upgrades. What about you?
I was really excited to find out just before we start making this that Punctuated Equilibrium is in the set. I think that is one of the more powerful cards in the game. I would love to get that as a Maverick. Lots of rares can be pretty good, but that one especially in Star Alliance could be really good by being able to play out a bunch of Star Alliance cards because so many of them have play abilities.
Yeah.
Being able to take advantage of that if you happen to draw into any more can give you a huge advantage. So I think I know I'd love to get a Punctuated Equilibrium in there.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, then because we can't really get a Star Alliance Legacy, I decided to go for a Legacy Maverick
Nice.
for the Legacy slot here, and just out of I wanted to pay homage to Sanctum here, so I thought Prince Derek would really fit in very well on Star Alliance.
Nice.
So that's my pick.
Yes, totally. He is in the set.
Well, sure. Yes.
Find out later.
He's a little slimier than we recognize him as, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure about Legacy. My favorite card ever, Screaming Cave. So I'd love to see a Legacy Mavericks Cave in there. But that's I think that's just me.
that could be pretty interesting.
Extremely rare instant.
Yeah. No, it could happen. The algorithm decides.
Yeah, it's a rare artifact from 2 sets ago, so not really a ton of chance for making it there.
What anomaly would you be most excited to see in Star Alliance?
I am super excited about all the anomalies. I was excited to open one in my starter set. I got the ghost form. I don't think that one would be super useful in Star Alliance because those guys like to reap and fight and do all those things. That one's more for a creature that wants to sit there. I think that Orb of Wonder could be really useful as an artifact in Star Alliance. Same thing with Timequake. So being able to play that and shuffle each friendly card and play into your deck, draw a card for each card shuffled into your deck this way.
Oh yeah, because of those play effects.
Right, because to take advantage of the play effects.
Yep. Yep.
I think either of those could be really good. Being able to look for a card in your deck, something that you really need. That could be great.
Cool. I put Lateral Shift mostly for flavor reasons. Because it's clearly a Star Alliance creature on there, and it has the quote from Shinkan. We were talking about this earlier. Like, I wonder, because I don't know if it's the same Shinkan, but if it is, like, it says he's an outcast. So, it's interesting.
Interesting flavor text.
Yeah, and we heard Brad Andrews talk on a podcast about how like these anomalies represent possible futures. There's no guarantee they'll make it in the game. There's no guarantee that the mechanics they represent will make it into the game in quite that form. They could make it in, but look different. There's a lot of things that could happen. Nothing's promised. So anyway, I think that's just it's very interesting to think about. Wow, could this little science officer could he end up hated by his fellow Alliance members? Who knows?
Yep. Who knows?
Cool. All right. Should we dive into the cards here?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, you're good.
So I used to love using Keyforge Compendium for this actually because it's no longer maintained. I'm doing this a little differently, and just using the Windows photo viewer thingy. I'll have to figure out a better way to do this because this is pretty lame, but it works. So yeah, so we're just gonna do these in numeric order, and that means things will be a little mixed up, but that's fine. So first is Arms Master Melina, who's a 4-power human. She has Hazardous 3, and her neighbors get Hazardous 3 too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. This one, I've actually had the opportunity to play against this one on Tabletop Simulator, a friend of mine, and it is annoying.
Yeah.
When you're trying to figure out who to fight first, you're not really sure. You want to get rid of the weak creatures next to Arms Master Melina,
Right.
but you can't because of the Hazardous 3. It definitely creates some interesting battle line situation.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I loved Way of the Porcupine in Untamed, and I feel like this fills a very similar role, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Super cool. All right. Next up is I'll have you read him because you brought him up earlier.
Yep. Chief Engineer Walls, 2-power human creature, elusive. Play Fight Reap. You may return an upgrade or robot card from your discard pile to your hand. Definitely more useful later on in the game if you want to get his play effect rolling, but it is super cool because the robot keyword there really helps if you have the Calvin robot in your deck, or the Land Rover. What's it called? The Explo Rover. That's what it is. Either one of those in your deck could be returned to him as well. If you happen to have a Legacy Bat Drone or Logos in your deck too, it definitely synergizes well with that. So robots from Logos could go really well with this.
Totally. Yep, and nice elusive to maybe get some extra value out of that. Cool. Next up is Cloaking Dongle. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber. It says this creature and each of its neighbors gains elusive. And I like this like pattern of this, and its neighbors that we already saw. But that's pretty valuable.
Yeah. It's like a better version of Lamindra.
Yeah.
Like if Lamindra could be an upgrade, what it would be.
Well,
I
Lamindra,
really like it.
Lamindra's good because of throwing stars.
Right.
Yeah, this is great.
But so you gain an amber, elusive for everyone, and it's great. One of those awesome upgrades.
Cool. All right. Next up is Comm Officer. I think that stands for Communications. Officer Kirby. He's a 3-power human and has Play Fight Reap. You may play a non-Star Alliance artifact, upgrade, or action card. So basically anything but a creature, right? This turn.
As flavor text, Fleet Command has to be out there somewhere, referencing their lore, trying to get back in contact with their main group. And in the meantime, he's working with the other house decks. So, which is pretty great.
Yeah, I mean it's so good, right? Because um
It's like a
like
mini phase shift.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's so like you get that effect, but then you keep getting it. It's just so good. If if he stays alive, you
Mm-hmm.
can reap with him to get it again. That it's very good. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, very good. I like it too. I think it multiples of these could be pretty great in your deck.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Commander Chan, do you want to read that one?
Yep. For power, human creature, fight, reap. Use another friendly creature. So it's not quite Gengar Chieftain status. You need to fight or reap to be able to use
Right.
this. But it being able to use another friendly creature really elevates how useful this guy is. If he's able to stick around for a turn, um, being able to use another friendly creature in play, that includes Star Alliance creatures. Well, not that makes any sense, but
Sure. Yeah, but it's quite useful to be able to use something out of house. I think so. Commander
yeah,
Remiel was one of my favorite creatures in Sanctum,
yep,
and this
Mega
is
Mouse,
strictly better than that, right? Because it's an extra power
yep,
and it's fight reap, so
yeah,
very very solid. Yeah, obviously the creature has to already be ready, but it's still very very good.
yes.
Cool.
And
Mhm.
this guy is a little bit less enthusiastic as Kirby is because he's convinced they won't get back in contact with.
Right,
Referencing
right.
its flavor text, our mission didn't end; it just changed.
But he looks pretty enthusiastic though. I mean, he seems very gung ho.
Yes, yes, he does.
Okay, next up is Explo Rover, a 3-power robot with skirmish, and it can be played as an upgrade instead of a creature with the text "This creature gains skirmish."
I'm looking
Interesting.
forward to finding out um, when to play it as a creature
Right.
because obviously you have that choice. Basically, this can be a creature or it can be an upgrade, and
Right.
knowing when to do that, I think can change some games. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like if you have, I mean, let's say you have a Commander Chan out on the board, right? And you put Explo Rover on him.
mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty good because now you can fight. You have skirmish. You'll do 4 damage, and then you get to use another friendly creature. So it makes the fight more viable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus typically I would think, oh, I'll just reap with that most of the time. So it makes it more viable as a fight effect, and there are a number of those in here. So I think it makes a lot of those fight effects more viable. But on the other hand, if you don't have those, then maybe you're better off just having a creature. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. A 3-power creature with skirmish is pretty good.
yeah. But I think we'll have to kind of play it a bunch and see
Yep,
see how it
definitely.
emerges.
I'm not looking forward to a Star Alliance deck with a low amount of creatures.
Well, unless you have Quixelstone,
Well,
right?
unless you have or that, or unless you have a ton of upgrades. But
Yeah,
I think that having a healthy amount of creatures in Star Alliance is pretty good.
definitely helpful. Yeah, cool. You want to read the next one?
Yeah. First Officer Frame. For power, human, play, fight, reap. A friendly creature captures 1 amber.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty good.
this.
Especially
Yeah,
in conjunction with with Saurian.
yes,
Um, if you have that Imperial Scudam or that creature, that dinosaur
yes.
that gives everyone destroyed ability, put the amber into the common supply instead of in your opponent's pool.
Yeah, or you can
Great.
put this on a Senator Strix or something like that. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. There's a lot
Or
of good
able to spend
options.
it. Yeah, yeah. There's a ton of options there. When it comes to Saurian, um, when it comes to Star Alliance, because of the warding, it can actually be, and the upgrades that can boost up your creatures, it can be pretty safe to put on your creatures too. So,
Yep.
um,
Cool. Lieutenant Karkar, or something like that, is a 5-power alien and Hanjuhan, which, and you were saying this earlier before we started recording, that like Star Alliance seems to pull in creatures from a lot of other houses, right? So, so this may be, maybe like Hand to Hand is something we'll see a bunch of in some future house. Who knows?
Very possible. Very
But
possible. I would love that to happen.
yeah. And he has Taunt and Hazardous 3, which is great.
So this card's pretty cool. I had the opportunity to play against Josh Massey at Gen Con. And I did end up beating him, which I was pretty happy about. But he had this guy with at least 5 upgrades, including Calvin and Explore Rover and Light of the Archons on this guy. And it was insane. He could destroy any creature.
Yes.
It was super hard to get rid of him. I actually forget how I got rid of him.
Yeah.
But eventually I was able to. But it took like the entire game to do it. Yeah, super cool. The Taunt and Hazardous 3 goes really well with all the upgrades that can be added to him.
Yeah.
Makes him really survive.
Yep. Okay. So Light of the Archons is an upgrade with a bonus amber. It gives the creature +1 power and +1 armor for each upgrade attached to it, which is great if you have a lot of upgrades. Turns out.
I mean, even if you have 3 upgrades, getting a power and an armor for each of those is amazing. This is even better in 2s, because double that. So, yeah, I'm excited that it can come in 2s. I've seen some decks with 2 of them, and
yeah, I mean it's a common. So like there will be some deck that has 5 of it, right?
That'll be crazy.
Yeah. And definitely very reasonable to expect to see 3s of it sometimes.
Yep. 2s and 3s. Yep.
Cool. You want to do the next couple?
Yep. Eddic Ingram, 3 power, human creature, play, fight, reap. You may heal 3 damage from a creature and ward it. Warding is that new keyword that we're seeing in Worlds Collide. That prevents it from being dealt damage or leaving play. So being able to ward a creature, say, that has an upgrade on it is going to be really, really good. So you don't need to discard the upgrades on that creature or leave them on the board for a bit longer. So I think having this creature in there could be a really good asset to your deck. I'm glad that the warding isn't dependent on the healing 3 damage, so just do as much as you can and carry on.
Totally. Yeah. Seems good. All right, next one.
Yeah. Melina's Blaster gives you an amber for playing it. This creature gains Fight Reap. This is one of the common blasters, by the way. This one goes with Arms Master Melina, the 3 hazardous. Gives neighbors 3 hazardous. Fight Reap, you may deal 2 damage to a creature or attach Melina's Blaster to Arms Master Melina. After you attach Melina's Blaster to Arms Master Melina, you may deal 3 damage to a creature. Cool. Yeah, it's the only common blaster, I think. Yeah, the only common blaster, so you can expect to see this one in there. The thing I'm confused about with this one is it looks like it can appear in a deck without Arms Master Melina.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's not a special card. It's just a blaster. or is
Huh.
this a regular common? So, I mean, there's one other blaster I think in the uncommon. Oh no, it's a stunner. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so it's the only blaster it looks like that can appear in a deck without the named creature that it goes with, which is really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Uh,
Um,
yeah, I'm doing a quick search to see if that has happened yet. Um, yeah, I haven't. I don't see any decks where that's the case.
okay.
And I wonder if, yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know. The algorithm is mysterious and wily. But I wonder if it's just a common because, maybe you could get a Molina with 2 or 3 blasters. Uh,
Maybe. That'd be
but
cool.
yeah,
I'll keep investigating that.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. It doesn't. The fact that it didn't come up in a search doesn't mean it couldn't happen. It just means that it hasn't happened that we know of.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next one is Red Alert. When you play it, if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, you deal damage to each enemy creature equal to the difference.
Nice.
Yeah, this is like Starlings is definitely not Sanctum. It's not a straight up replacement for Sanctum by any means, but this is one of those cards that makes you wonder if they are, because it's similar to Glorious Few, except Glorious Few would give you Amber. This instead kill stuff. So, but it seems strong to me.
Yeah, it does. I like the idea of like you're getting scared. There's lots of creatures out. Oh, let's just deal the difference in damage. So it's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I mean, it's very. It looks like a card that very well could just do like maybe 1 damage or 2 damage, or if any, it could be a dead card in your hand.
Right.
But it's a situational board wipe, so that's pretty cool.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. All the board wipes are sometimes just discards for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh. Okay, and then this one I'm really excited about. Science Officer Shinken. He's a 2-power alien Proximan, which is a new trait. Scientist. Yep. He has elusive, and after a player chooses an active house which matches no cards in play, steal an amber. So that means if they choose Dees and they have no Dees cards, and there are no Dees cards on the board of yours or theirs, then you would immediately steal one.
Yep, and it's a mirror effect, so it does go both ways. So going back to your theory,
I don't. Shinkan will steal one both times.
You're right.
It only benefits you.
You're right. That is interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't see it like
that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty great. That makes it even better in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like your theory craft way better.
Oh, right.
Way more.
Yes, my Quixel. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
For sure. Cool.
So
okay.
Next one is 3-power Censored Chief Garcia, human creature. Play, fight, reap. Keys cost +2 during your opponent's next turn. Cool. So key control. I like it. In Star Alliance, that's definitely a useful addition to this house. This house literally does everything, so that may as well just add in a card that does that.
Right. Yeah, I was going to mention there are a couple more coming that do key cost manipulation. So yeah, that it's pretty interesting.
Yep.
Definitely a strong effect, especially to be able to trigger repeatedly like that, right? On reap.
Oh my goodness, yeah. you don't have any way of getting it off. At least it's not elusive. So it's 3 power. It's not elusive. You
Yep.
have that going for you.
Yeah. Cool. Next up.
If you're playing against it. Yeah. So next one is an action. Stealth mode gives you an amber for playing it. And your opponents cannot play action cards during their next turn. Love this type of card.
Yeah. This is Scrambler Storm,
Logos.
right?
Scrambler Storm. That's what it is. Scrambler Storm from Logos from Coda. An amazing card. It automatically makes this house even better because Scrambler Storm situationally it's essentially a key cheat if you can use it properly on the right decks. Being able to make your opponent not be able to play actions on their next turn is super good. Really, really powerful. Most of the really powerful cards that can keep you off a key or change within an instant are action cards. So that's a great card to have.
Yeah. I think Scrambler Storm is an uncommon, if I recall correctly. I think Scrambler Storm is like under feared. We had our last adaptive testing session. You beat me, but the one before that, I won it, and I think Scrambler Storm played pretty heavily into how that played out, and and in Logos it was an uncommon, but here it's a common, so we're gonna see this a lot.
Yes, I really like it. It's I like it in the common spot. The fact that you don't have Control the Weak and Scrambler Storm in the set makes it better to have this as a common where you're going to see it a lot more. I like it in the common spot. It's pretty good.
Yeah, nice to have some.
I wouldn't mind a deck with 4 of these.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, me either. Absolutely. Cool. Next up is Zap. It's an action with a bonus amber. Deal 1 damage to a creature for each house represented among creatures in play. And my understanding of how the rulings have gone on this is that if your opponent has 6 1-power creatures and there are 6 houses represented, you can kill all of them. You can
it's treated like sack of coins.
Right. But seems okay. I mean, I think I would expect to maybe get like 3 out of this regularly.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like a punch.
If there is a creature in play with like experimental therapy on it, though, does it do 9?
Right.
It does do 9.
Yeah, 9 and counting.
Yeah.
Totally.
So it can only get better with experimental therapy in play.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. On to the next one. This is our first uncommon card. A 2-power robot creature, Calvin. Fight Reap,
has
draw
1 armor.
It does have 1 armor, yes, and it can be played as an upgrade, where the creature gains Fight Reap, draw a card. So, really cool upgrade ability. I'm glad it has an armor because with just 2 power, it wouldn't last very long. So, if you happen to play it just as a creature,
right.
So, yeah, if it's like your first card you play, and anyway, it has a great ability.
Yeah, Doc Bookton is a great card. And this is like a little miniature Doc Bookton, or turns another creature into Doc Bookton, so that's pretty great.
Yep, definitely. Cool. Next one is the 3-power creature, Alien Crixix, some sort of Martian, maybe. I don't know. The Ixotaber. Fight Reap. You may play or use 1 non-Star Alliance card this turn.
Yep.
So that means you can take 1 from your hand, put it onto the table. Does not specify which type of card, so it can be any of the 4 different types, and I think that's pretty great.
Yeah, totally. There's I heard Richard Garfield talking about this, and it seems like they didn't do it with Tabor, but uh, but at some point, my understanding is they're planning on releasing uh, some kind of cultural exchange officer that will always show up in a different house
Huh.
and bring the creature whose slot it took over to Star Alliance.
Interesting.
Um,
That would
so
be cool.
yeah, so yeah, they haven't. I don't. It seems like they haven't done that yet, but Richard Garfield specifically mentioned that as an idea that they're interested in. Of course, I mean, doing fight reap, you may use one non-Star Alliance card this turn is pretty close to that as an effect, but I'm excited about the weird, crazy stuff they can do.
Yeah, this one is pretty great. It's a bit of a better effect than Communications Officer Kirby, but you can't play it and get that effect. You have
Right,
to fight or reap. So he
right,
has to stick around for a bit in order to take advantage of that. But
totally.
definitely love the ability.
Yeah, cool. So Force Field is an upgrade with a bonus amber, and it gives the creature Reap, ward this creature.
Yep,
Seems strong.
yep. Gives
I
you
like
an
the
amber, reap, ward the creature, because most likely you're playing on a creature that's already ready. So um, you can, if you happen to have a Star Alliance creature out, being able to ward
right.
it right away, it's pretty great. Um, and yeah, nice.
Yeah, I like the artwork too. It's a pit demon or something from Dees
Yeah,
trying to get
the
in and
terror
just
maybe. I think it's the
oh
terror.
maybe yeah, just
I don't
not
know.
having much luck
It's
there.
one of those. All right,
Something
next one,
ugly.
2 power human creature, Helmsman Spears. Fight Reap. Discard any number of cards from your hand. Draw a card for each card discarded this way. Um, yeah, the flavor text references a person that is not in the set, so hopefully we'll meet Crash Muldoon
Moldu.
further set. But being pretty great. So if your hand is stacked
Seems
full of
really
cards,
good.
and someone's calling the week on you and happens to pick Star Alliance with this card in play, I don't know why they do that, but you can discard a bunch of those other cards that are clogging up your hand and draw some more. So I actually really like that effect.
Yeah, yeah, super good. Next up is Information Officer Gray. He's a 4-power human with play, fight, reap. You may reveal a non-Star Alliance card from your hand. If you do, archive it.
Nice. No
More,
giving +1 power counters like Zizix.
no, that's okay though. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a well, you can do it on any non-Star Alliance card, right? So
right.
that's pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic deck acceleration.
Yeah. Anytime you're able to play a card and archive a card, it's great.
Yeah.
Gets rid of 2 cards out of your hand and moves you forward in the game.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
Next one is an action. Gives you an Amber Pip, Lay of the Land. Play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put them back in any order, and draw a card. Boom. Great. Being able to look at the top 3 cards and then draw the one that you most want
Yep.
is pretty awesome. Um, just waiting for the day that someone looks at them all and then puts them all back and then draws the wrong one. That'll be pretty sad.
Judge.
But before Worlds Collide was announced, I actually made up a card with this effect and posted it, and people were like, "What? What would you ever use that for?" In Keyforge, why would you do that?
That's so funny.
And yeah, so I think it's actually a great effect. I'm a bit biased.
Yeah, well, it seems. I mean, it's similar to Igor. It's just obviously as an action instead. And instead of discarding the other two cards, you put them back on. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It seems like a really nice effect for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Next we have Navigator Ali, 3-power human creature. Play Fight Reap, another one of those guys. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order.
Yep. More.
Yeah, more of that deck manipulation
Yep.
that Star Alliance has.
Yep. The next one is Nurse Soto, 3-power human with deploy and play Fight Reap. Heal 3 damage from each of Nurse Soto's neighbors. This I have to say, like, I think I'm just kind of like down on heal effects in general. Yep. I'm not super excited about this, but it could be okay in the right circumstances. But yeah, I'm just not stoked.
I mean, especially play heal effect, because the play effect is super. It's going to be where it's most impactful because your opponent doesn't know it's coming. So it's something they can't plan for. So a play effect to heal is a bit meh, but I haven't looked at all of the rest of the cards from the set, so I don't know how much blink damage is in it.
Yeah.
Or how many creatures really need 3 damage healed from them.
Right.
I mean, there must be a lot of bigger creatures that need 3 damage, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe if you're in Saurian, then suddenly you put this next to a creature with taunt or something, it could help. But yeah, I think, we'll see.
This is and that's actually funny. The first really meh card that we've run into, and it's how many cards into this set?
Absolutely.
It's 20 cards in. So yeah. So this set of cards is looking pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh boy, this next one, you go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So Quadricorder is an upgrade. It says your opponent's keys cost +1 amber for each house represented among friendly creatures to a maximum of 3. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
More key cost manipulation, more upgrades.
Yep. More upgrades. I think this
synergy.
Is fantastic. More. The key control is pretty great with this one.
Yeah.
Next one, Quintrino Flex action. Choose a friendly creature and an enemy creature. Destroy the chosen creatures and each creature with the same power as either of the chosen creatures.
Wow. So yeah, that's crazy.
That's pretty great. It's like a standardized testing for Star Alliance, but you get to choose the power that you destroy. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems very strong. I'm excited to see how that works out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, snap. This next one, I'm going to read this
Go
one.
for it.
2 power, 1 armor, science officer Morpheus. Creature, he's a shapeshifter and a scientist. After you play a creature with a play effect, trigger its play effect an additional time. Ooh. So we're going to be looking at Dis later. The creature Infernus, but this guy is pretty crazy. So Infernus is a 4-power creature, I believe, and it allows you to pick a discard pile and purge 2 cards from that discard pile.
Yeah, it's like a creature version of Creeping Oblivion, right?
It's amazing, and I'm really looking forward to this set. But there's so many other play effects. There's so many other play effects, especially from what we've seen.
Yeah.
With other creatures. Like, say, Navigator Ali, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in the order. That's pretty useless. But, like Helmsman Spears, being able to discard cards out of your hand and draw, that's pretty great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Seems pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be excited to see
what random combos you can get with it or what we discover.
Right. Yeah. If you can keep it on the board, there's definitely a lot of potential for weird stuff, right?
Yes.
that'll seem overpowered. But you know, it's 2 power 1 armor. It's not elusive, so you have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So the next card is Stunner. It's an upgrade with the bonus amber, and it gives the creature Fight Reap. You may stun a creature.
Mm-hmm.
Seems
And
good.
it says you may stun a creature. So if you have
Yeah.
creatures, if you're the only one of the creatures in play, you don't need to stun one of your own guys, which is pretty good upside to this.
Yeah, yeah, and I like the flavor text set stunners to stun.
Yeah, I like that the blasters are separate from the stunners. So you have to
Yeah.
always carry a stunner and a blaster with.
You hope. Yeah, it looks very nerfish actually.
Mm-hmm. It actually kind of does. The orange and the blue, pretty great.
Yeah, yeah.
This next one, Tactical Officer Moon, 4 power, human creature, has Assault 2, and play you may rearrange the creatures in a player's battle line. That is pretty great. Like that, we haven't experienced a battle line manipulation card like this ever. Being able to have that much control over where the creatures are in the battle line is pretty amazing. You can mess up a lot of AOA decks with this card.
Yeah, and even in Star Alliance, we've seen a number of cards already that care about their neighbors, right? So, or taunt or whatever. So, you know, in the worst case scenario, you might just get some benefit yourself out of this card by rearranging your own battle line. But occasionally, you'll be able to play it and really mess your opponents up.
I do have an interesting theory about this card.
Uh-huh.
I was looking at the Worlds Collide boxes, and I was noticing that on the boxes, none of the art on it is in the set. And there's this person on the box from Star Alliance that is in a very similar flying position as Tactical Officer Moon. And because alt art decks were announced a month or so ago, I think that it might be the alt art to this card. They have similar hair. They're flying almost the same way. They both have blasters.
Yeah.
So
the suit is quite different, but it could be like an exosuit versus an inside suit. Totally.
Yeah. So that's my weird theory with this card. We'll see if it's right.
yeah, we will see. It's a cool idea, and I mean it's great art either way. Both I think are pretty cool art.
Yeah, definitely.
Next up is Transporter Platform. Very Star Trek-y here. It's an artifact with the bonus hammer, and it's a location, and it exhausts to return a friendly creature and each upgrade attached to it to your hand.
That's so great, so awesome.
Especially so okay, because I was thinking I was thinking wait and see, but I want to hear your pitch.
So if you happen to have a deck that has maybe like 4 upgrades in it, and you're making you have a creature that has an upgrade on it, but you're like, man, I want to put this on this creature over here now that it's out. This allows you to do that. So being able to manipulate what creatures have the upgrades without needing to discard the upgrade and then find it in your deck again.
Sure.
It can be pretty great, especially with how good the upgrades are in this house.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. And I think it also makes a lot of sense with the creatures with play effects, right? If you have one of those creatures with a play, fight, reap effect, maybe it's sitting there, you fight or reap with it, and then you use this on it. It comes back to your hand, and then you get the play effect, too. So, so it's extra good if you have some of those creatures to use it on.
Plus, since the upgrades generally have an amber pip, except for the creature ones, it gives you that extra amber from that.
So that's really good.
This also applies to any house's upgrade. So you can, I'm not sure what the what the other upgrades are, what the other good upgrades are for the house, but
Sure.
for the other houses. But yeah, this is pretty good. I like
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sold. So the next one is an upgrade. It's Universal Translator. It has a bonus amber, and it gives the creature Fight Reap. Use a friendly non-Star Alliance creature.
Nice.
More,
I like it.
more house cheating.
And
That's what we
apparently the
needed.
flavored text contains a name of a Star Trek episode. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm sure some people out there are smart enough to know what it is. But that
Interesting.
heard that on the Archon's Corner podcast. Shout out to that.
Aquan is definitely a trait on one of the anomalies. So
Ooh,
that's interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Aquan's confirmed. Thou shalt wear pants. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Yep. Action, Xeno Training. This is going to be one of our last. It is the last uncommon card in this set of cards. It gives you an amber. Play for each house represented among friendly creatures. A friendly creature captures one. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ultimate would be as if you had experimental therapy, but generally you'll be able to capture a max of 3, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
3 can definitely take someone off of a key.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely can. Yeah, and I love the picture here with the Star Alliance guy, like he's lifting, he's doing his best, but all these giants, all the Brahmanar giants standing around are like, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
All
right. Onto the rares. I'm excited about the rares because rares in general are either really, really good or really, really situational.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see which one or which.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one is Amber Tracker. It's a 4-power beast, and it has the play effect: deal 2 damage to each enemy creature with amber on it. This damage cannot be prevented by armor.
Love it.
Yeah.
Anytime amber is able to get past armor is good, or damage is able to get past armor is good. Unless it's being played against you. But you have wards to think about too, so it doesn't get past ward.
But it'll pop it.
Yes.
So that's cool. Popping a word for 2 damage is fine.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mass play effect with 2 damage. This is what I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
With the Nurse Soto. You'd be so.
Yeah. And I think this will be good against like Coda and AoE decks with Sanctum, and it should also be pretty good against Saurian, I think.
Yeah, generally pretty good. Next one is the Book of IEQ artifact. Action: reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a non-Star Alliance card, its house becomes your active house. Otherwise, end your turn. So it's really interestingly worded.
Yeah.
Lots of people think that if it's a non-Star Alliance, if it is a Star Alliance card, you end your turn and you don't ready your cards. We're gonna wait on an official ruling on that. I'm really, I'm thinking it is that way, but
yeah, I think it needs a strong downside like that to make it a balanced mechanic.
Yes. Yeah.
That seems fair.
Being able to basically switch houses in the middle of your turn is pretty crazy. Like, yeah, that's a very strong artifact if you have it. Little bit of trivia: these little guys are actually on card Ghostly Hand, so go look that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. So I guess it's a reference to like, hey, you're finding maybe it's some Shadows creatures found some Star Alliance tech.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I think if you hit the other house, like it's almost a free turn. So it's very strong if it hits. So I think
Yes.
having a strong
Yeah.
downside is fine. I would still do it,
I'd be okay with it too.
especially if you combine it with one of those cards where you get to sort the cards on the top of your deck. Like that,
Oh my
that'll just be
goodness.
extra good.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
Uh, mhm. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Um, Next one is a 5 power um, creature, 1 armor, Captain Val Jericho, very famous and mentioned in
Yes,
a lot of flavor
so many
text and a
quotes.
few other cards. During your turn, if Captain Val Jericho is in the center of your battle line, you may play 1 card that is not of the active house. Even more house cheating.
Yeah, yeah, and that is super interesting because that'll trigger on even on a non-Star Alliance turn. You can get that benefit.
Yep, yep, definitely. And you can manipulate your battle line to take advantage of that too.
Yeah, yeah, because if you have, I mean, assuming you have one creature. Oh no, 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 no. I mean, she could be pretty far from the center, um, but yeah, if you keep things pretty balanced, then you'd have a decent chance of being able to make her be the center
Yep,
and get the benefit. So, well, pretty solid.
Oh, wait a second. This next one, I was wrong. This one is in the set.
Oh, yep, there he
uh,
is.
3 power Crash Muldoon, human pilot, deploy. Crash Muldoon enters play ready. Action, use a neighboring non-Star Alliance creature. So he enters play ready, so his play effect can effectively be use a neighboring non-Star Alliance creature, unless of course you don't have any of those and you just want to reap with him.
You
So
can
he has
just
an upside
yeah,
either way, basically.
yep, yeah, yeah. He seems very useful, very flexible.
Yes.
Useful in a lot of different contexts, but only 3 power, so not definitely not invulnerable or anything. Seems fair. All right, next up we have rare upgrade. Disruption Field gives you a bonus amber and makes your opponent's keys cost +1 for each disruption counter on Disruption Field. And the creature that's attached to gains Fight Reap, put a disruption counter on Disruption Field. And this is the only reference that we have to this disruption counter. That's not a general thing, but essentially the mechanic is when this creature fights or reaps, it puts a counter on this upgrade, and for each counter on the upgrade, the opponent's keys cost +1.
Yep. You can use just about anything for this. This is another one of the things that's like the Doom counter or the counters on Colosseum, which we'll see later. It's just basically a general. You can use just about anything for it. So,
Right.
But it's this third key cost increase that we've seen.
Yeah.
In this house, which is pretty great.
Yeah. Next up is Dr. Driscoll, a 3-power human scientist with elusive, and she is digging into something pretty gross looking there. This is like some Arkham Horror artwork almost. And she has the action heal 2 damage from a creature and gain an amber for each damage healed this way. That actually sounds worthwhile to me.
Right, that is a heal effect that you really want.
Yeah. I mean, I'd heal an opponent's creature if I could gain an extra amber over reaping for doing it.
Totally. Let's see. Next one we have here is Encounter Suit. Upgrade. Weirdly enough, an upgrade that does not have an amber pip on it. After an action card is played, but before it resolves, ward this creature. Super interesting. So say you play an unlocked gateway. you before the unlock gateway resolves, you ward it so it would be safe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
So that's even if your opponent plays an action card.
Yeah, I'm. They'll have to like do an FAQ on this because I'm actually not sure off the top of my head what resolves means. I don't think that's a word we actually have like a great definition
We don't have
for.
the window for that yet.
Yeah, let me double check that. I don't want to say something that's not true, but I'll look it up and I'll double check later.
Nice. Yeah. So the next card is the key cheat card for Star Alliance. I believe every house has one now.
Yeah, so dad
Forging an
jokey.
alliance. Yeah, Forging an Alliance gives you an Amber Pip. Forging at +7 current cost, reduced by 1 for each house represented among cards in play. Cool. So it can be like key charge, but most of the time it's probably going to be more expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, but that's pretty good.
Anytime you have a key cheat that you can take advantage of, it's good.
Right. So I'm looking through the rules for Resolve, and I can't find anything that specifically talks about an action card resolving. You do resolve the play effect on an action card, and so my expectation is that what the intention is for Encounter Suit is that the ward from Encounter Suit gets placed on the creature before the play effect of the action card gets resolved, and that would make sense. That would work, like you said, if someone plays Gateway, this creature ends up surviving Gateway, for example.
It is pretty weirdly worded, though.
Yeah. So, and it wouldn't surprise me if they decide to fix it by just saying, "Oh yeah, Encounter Suit should have said after an action card is played, but before its play effect is resolved, or its playability, or something like that." But yeah. Anyway, that's fine. I'm sure they'll make sense of it. I'm not that worried about it, and it seems pretty clear what the intent is.
Yes, I agree.
Cool. So next up is Galactic Census. It's an action with a bonus Amber, and it says if there are exactly 3 or exactly 4 houses represented among creatures in play, gain an Amber. If there are exactly 5, gain 2. If there are 6 or more, gain 3. So potentially this is like a fertility chant that doesn't give your opponent 2, right?
Right, because you gain an Amber from playing the card.
Right. Yeah. And worst case scenario, it's just an Amber. Most of the time, it's probably 2 or 3. Right.
Yep.
I'd expect to get 2 or 3 from this a lot, which is good. I mean, that's pretty good.
Super good card if you can get 2 or 3. Yeah, for playing it. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Next one we have is General Order 24. It's an artifact and a law. It's the second law.
Ooh, yeah.
The Keyforge world. At the start of each player's turn, they must choose a creature they control and destroy each creature of the chosen creature's house. If that player has no creatures in play, destroy General Order 24 instead. Interesting.
Ooh. Yeah.
So this has the potential to be destroyed not on your turn.
Yeah.
Because it applies to both people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird one, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
And I'm looking forward to the FAQ on at the start of each player's turn. Those specific words. Because right now, apparently, miasma skipped. So.
I don't think there's been an official ruling
I
on that.
know. I was being sarcastic,
Okay,
but
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. That's one where I can see the lawyerly reason for it, but it's clearly wrong.
yeah,
Uh, but I
nice.
thought that before. Um, so next up is Operations Officer Ishii, who's a 4 power, 2 armor spirit with taunt, and each of Operation Officer Ishii's neighbors gains fight, reap, capture 1. And this seems to be a recruit from Sanctum.
Pretty awesome
Yeah,
to have a Sanctum creature appearing in Star Alliance.
sure looks like it. It's a spirit. It's glowy. Has a giant yellow sword. Yeah, and it captures stuff, or its neighbors capture stuff anyway. I like the like built in. It has taunt, and it gives its neighbors something that would make you want to kill them. Um, it's pretty cool that those are together on the one card.
Definitely, definitely. All right, sorry. Did you get my message?
Oh, nope, nope. Let me try again.
I put it on Discord.
Oh.
Sorry, I have to be getting.
Okay, okay. No
Yeah.
problem. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining me, and I'll finish out these rares all by myself. But
Sounds good.
it's been very, very fun. Have a great night, and get that baby some sleep.
Awesome. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Good luck tomorrow.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right. I'll just carry on all by myself here. Um, let's talk about Peace Accord. So Peace Accord is an artifact. It's also a law. Star Alliance apparently big fans of the law, and this Peace Accord says that each player gains 2 amber when you play it, but then after a creature is used to fight, its controller loses 4, and you destroy the Peace Accord. I like the thematic thing that's happening here, which is, oh yeah, there's this benefit that you each get, and then whoever breaks the peace has to pay for the whole 4. It's a pretty cool effect. It'll be interesting to see how you can take advantage of it. It seems, like it'll make the most sense to try to do it in such a way that you don't want fighting, and so to your point, your opponent that's going to end up doing it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. You gotta love the guy in the middle on this artwork, who's between, it looks like maybe a Brobnar giant and I think that's a Saurian maybe. Oh no, I think they're both Brobnar. Yeah, poor little guy. There's a theme here of poor little humans stuck between giants. Rough times. Okay, Plasma Nozzle is an upgrade, and it has a bonus amber, and it gives the creature before fight deal 2 damage to the attacked creature with 2 splash. That is pretty cool. Nice fight upgrade. Psionic Officer Lang is a 3-power human creature, and her ability is that after an enemy creature reaps, you archive the top card of your deck. I would love to see this with like a, if you get to play like a Fog of Fire, Fog Bank type effect, or maybe you get her with the Peace Accord. That'd be pretty bonkers because you really disincentivize your opponent from fighting, but then also make them not want to reap. That'd be pretty cool. That, or put something taunty next to her, that would help too. Quixelstone is very weird and fun and changes the game. So it's an artifact with a bonus amber. It's an item, and if a player has more creatures in play than their opponent, they cannot play creatures. So you can have one more. If you have the same amount, If you have less, you're good. If you have the same amount, you're fine. You can play one more, and then you can't play any more creatures, which really limits things and can be frustrating. Special Agent Fingers seems to be a recruit from Shadows, most likely. She's a 1-power elf thief with elusive, and she has action steal 1. And I think her text here, her flavor text, solidifies this idea, backs up this idea that Star Alliance are recruiting from other houses. It says the Grand Star Alliance is happy to accept the best and brightest from any world. So they recruit from other houses. Tachyon Pulse is an action with a bonus amber. It has the play effect destroy each artifact, exhaust each creature with an upgrade. This is one of those kind of self-house hate cards that we see from time to time that's pretty interesting. Techivore Pulpate is a 5-power jelly, and after it's a creature, and it says that after a player chooses an active house, destroy each artifact of that house. Very interesting. Just really interesting. I love these types of effects because you can kind of play around it a little bit, and maybe choose other things and just try to destroy it before you choose the house you really want, but put some pressure on. Uncharted Lands is a really interesting artifact. It's a location. When you play it, you play 6 amber from the common supply on Uncharted Lands, and each Star Alliance creature gains Reap. Move 1 amber from Uncharted Lands to your pool. The really interesting thing about this is if your opponent has Star Alliance, they could get this Reap effect too, right? And they could be taking amber out of Uncharted Lands. So you really need to be careful how and when you play it, but used properly in the right circumstances, it's a 6 amber boost, which is really good. United Action is an action with alpha, so you have to play it first thing in your step 3. And its play effect is for the remainder of the turn, you may play cards from any house for which you have a card in play. You cannot use cards this turn. So if you play this, you won't be able to use any cards, but you can potentially play out your entire hand as long as you already have at least 1 creature or artifact or upgrade from that house in play. So yeah, really interesting. We Can All Win is an action with a bonus amber. It says each player's keys cost -2 until the end of your next turn. That's interesting. So basically, if you can use this in conjunction with a key cheat, that's extra good, right? Because you're reducing the key cost this turn as well as next turn. You're also, though, reducing key costs for your opponent on their turn. So you just need to be careful about the timing of when you play it. All right, and now we're into the rest of the blasters. These are special rarity, and like Mark said, it is kind of interesting that the one is just a straight common, while these are a special rarity. But it's fine. It's just interesting, and these are each paired with a creature. And I hadn't realized this before, but so each blaster gives a bonus amber. That's fine, and they all have the same. They all give the same fight reap effect, roughly, but they have this after attach effect that is unique to each blaster and reflects who owns the blaster. So Chan's Blaster is an upgrade with the bonus amber. This creature gains fight reap. You may deal 2 damage to a creature or attach Chan's Blaster to Commander Chan. After you attach Chan's Blaster to Commander Chan, you may use another friendly creature. That's pretty cool. So there's no disincentive from attaching this to another creature before Commander Chan gets out. You'll get a benefit from it. And then once Commander Chan does come out, you can get an extra benefit. Frain's Blaster, the attach effect, again, the bonus amber and the fight reap effect are the same, But the after attach effect for this one is that you can move each amber from First Officer Frayne to your pool. And First Officer Frayne's, oh man, let me view these as large. Which one is First Officer Frayne? Nope. No, that's Fortune Alliance. This is the problem with not knowing all the cards yet, that I cannot tell them by their art. But I'm working on it. Nope. There we go. Oh, right. So she lets a friendly creature capture one, but interesting. So you could capture it onto her, and then when you attach the blaster to her, you move all the amber from her to your pool, which would be pretty cool. Garcia's blaster gives you a bonus amber. Has that same fight reap effect. You can deal 2 damage to a creature or attach it to Chief Garcia. And after you attach it to Sensor Chief Garcia, you steal 1. That's great. Ingram's blaster. The attach effect is fully heal a creature. That's less exciting. Karker's blaster wards Karker. That's pretty good. Kirby's blaster, when it attaches to him, has you draw 2 cards, which is very good. And Shinken's blaster, when it attaches to him, you may archive a creature in play. Oh, that's very interesting. And since it's a creature in play, I think you could archive an opponent's creature. I think you could. I mean, we may need a ruling on that, but I think you could. That'd be pretty good and really help with Shinken. And then Wall's blaster, when it attaches to walls, has you stun a creature for each upgrade on Chief Engineer walls, and that would include this blaster. Cool, so that is it. That's all the Star Alliance cards. Thanks to Mark for joining me for this. Thanks to you for listening and maybe watching along. I hope this helped you get some familiarity with the cards that are about to be playable in all these events. I hope you will enjoy playing the cards. I hope you enjoyed thinking about them with us. Thanks so much for going on this journey with us. And I hope that you'll look for more of these in the future as we go through the rest of the houses. And until then, that you will get out and forge some keys.